Hello everyone, this is Ron from High Tech Legion. You probably are excited with the release of the GTX Titan and the GTX 780, although the price tag probably is preventing you from just going out there and getting them, since they're essentially $1,000 and $650. And when the GTX 770, which was the eventually going to be released, people were concerned that the price tag will also be well beyond their reach. So it was surprising that this morning NVIDIA announced that it will carry a $399 MSRP. That puts it squarely in the GTX 670 category, and the GTX 680 is considerably more pricey, as well as the AMD HD 7970. So it's definitely interesting. In one fell swoop, NVIDIA has changed the landscape, especially considering AMD's next generation cards are not due for quite some time. So expect some price changes in the coming weeks. But obviously at this moment, that's not the main focus of this review. This is about the GTX 700. All these names. Well, GTX 770, it's of course based on the GK 104, same as the GTX 680, but the difference is it features the GPU Boost 2.0 we have seen on the GTX Titan and the GTX 780, and it also features the world's fastest memory modules for GDDR5 for video cards, which is 7010 megahertz, and that is of course a bump from the 6000 megahertz that is on the GTX 680 from last time. So what can we expect with that? Of course, better overclocking from the memory, and with the GPU Boost, a more intelligent, dynamic overclocking, and improved performance overall for a lower price. Well, one of NVIDIA's most popular partners, of course, is EVGA, and they are releasing at the same time their own custom cooling solution. They released it last week with the GTX 780. They're calling it the ACX cooling solution, or Active Cooling Extreme. Of course, that's X for extreme. And it not only looks fantastic, it's one of the best looking video cards I've ever seen. I've also got to test out how well it performs and how well it handles a GPU Boost 2.0 on a GTX 770. I keep on confusing the name. Well, anyway, let's just dig in, travel back in time, and see how I unboxed it a few minutes earlier, and a few hours earlier, and see how well it performs. For an enthusiast class video card, the packaging of the EVGA GeForce GTX 770 Superclocked Edition ACX video card seems small and a little more economical. You can see there that there's some function in that design. You can see a see-through window that has the matching serial number of the sticker in the packaging, just in case you are worried about open box items and stuff like that, to make sure you get an authentic EVGA product. Of course, let's break the seal here and open it up. You can see what you can find inside. The packaging here, let's empty that completely. Let me just see what these three items are. Portrait accessories. Each of them are individually wrapped. So it definitely is a premium product. You have an adapter here for your VGA connector, for your dvi-i, of course, dvi to VGA. That's for the dvi-d. And this one is an adapter that converts two female 6-pin to a single male 8-pin pci-e. And also, one is for a 6-pin power, a straight 6-pin power converted from a pair of Molex connectors. And the cabling seems to be braided here. So that's very cool. And of course, you have the unit itself in a static form-fitting packaging here. I'll just show you what that looks like. It has some protective film there. Of course, you have to remove that for use. And yeah, after you warn you, so right there. And I'm going to put this aside for a bit, just a little tease there. I'll continue on, since there are more stuff here found inside. Make sure our box is completely empty. And let's see here. You get
the graphics card user's guide. Inside there's some other things in there. Again, premium product and premium packaging there. You have the powered by EVGA badge. It's metallic and it actually has some looks like carbon pattern there, carbon fiber pattern with, more importantly, the graphics drivers you'll need, and of course it contains the Precision X software as well as the other software that's provided by EVGA, including their overclocking, so their ACX tuner program, that OC scanner rather, that is used to test the stability of your overclock. So get this yellow sheet here. It tells you just a warning sheet, more of a quick start guide. Keep that handy for your connector, which one is dvi-i and dvi-d, although it's actually marked in the back of the connector, so you can keep track of that and which power connector is for which. And more notice here, I think it's about the more information. There's promotional information for the 700 series cards, and a pair of stickers to be for your car here, or for something that is one of those stickers that will pretty much stay forever on a metal surface. And let's see here, poster, of course. It comes with pretty much most EVGA products that are premium. Let's see what kind of poster they got. I believe this is the same one that was on the 780, which is inspired by Game of Thrones. And yep, it is the Game of Owns, or Pones. And here you go. Let's put this aside now and take a deep look at the most important part of this package. That is, of course, the EVGA GeForce GTX 770 graphics card with their new ACX, custom ACX cooling technology. Let me just pop that out to show you how to discard that. You can see there's actually latches there. There we go. Alright, here we have the EVGA GeForce GTX 770 completely out of packaging, and once again this is the one with the ACX cooling technology. See there, and a very cool looking shroud, of course different from the reference design, although that one looks cool, but this one looks even cooler with the black, matte black colored there, and the golden trim on the sides. And actually there's some packaging, and there's some more protective plastic here that you would probably want to remove that before you use, so I'm going to remove that later, just so it's, of course, to prevent scratches, but you don't want that melting all over your components. Also, you get twin fans. I'm going to take this apart later on. You can take a closer look at how this cooling system works. And for now, let's go over the card itself. Here at the front, of course, it's completely open. You can see through the nickel-plated aluminum fins there, and the power connectors. You get a 6-pin and an 8-pin power connector. See some more of the open area there on the sides. All the air will, of course, be blown out here on the sides as well as the rear. And here are two of the SLI connectors, of course, for up to quad SLI if you have the money. And you can notice the PCB is quite thick, so this is a very cool thing, since you don't want your PCB bending. And it looks like there's also a plate that supports that additional, you've seen back plates before. This one is essentially a plate on top, so it actually acts as a heatsink for the memory as well, and provides sort of a stiffening solution so that your PCB doesn't bow down over time. Well, here at the rear, let me just show you the pci-e connector first. Of course, standard pci-e specification here for the X16 slot. And it is, of course, a PCIe 3.0 video card. More open areas here on the end. Here at the back, it's the business end. You get a dvi-d and a dvi-i connector. See here. These are actually they have covers. I removed them prior to this part of the video, but they are protected. And if you look closely, that it is a full-size display port and a full-size HDMI, and also it has those high airflow bracket holes in the rear. And that is pretty much it for the quick overview. What I'm going to do now is take the cooler apart, show you what the PCB underneath looks like, and also I'm really interested in how well this ACX active cooling technology extreme system works, and how effective it is in dissipating the heat, especially with the GeForce GTX 770, which has the GPU Boost 2.0, where keeping the temperatures really low is important so you can achieve your maximum overclock. And for those interested in the dimensions of the card, it measures 10 inches long, or 2054 millimeters to be exact. So if you're concerned whether it will fit your mid-tower case, most likely it will. And it looks quite heavy. It's actually rated for 3 pounds because of the the shroud is no joke. It looks cool, and it looks definitely like a premium product. Also, the nickel plating on the aluminum fins also add more to weight compared to other video cards. And as for the thickness, it is definitely a solid dual slot video solution. It's not a 2.5 solution. It is exactly, actually even about a millimeter less than 2-slot solution. So for those concerned whether this will fit on their motherboard that does not have a dual spacing, triple spacing rather, for the pair PCIe, this one will definitely fit. And this one comes with a base clock of 1101 megahertz out of factory, has just slightly factory overclocked, with a boost clock of 1163 megahertz. And as with all of the GeForce GTX 770 video cards, it sports a whopping 7010 megahertz effective memory clock, which is, I believe, is the fastest currently. And of course, let's take an even closer look and see what's under the hood. Alright, here I have separated the main ACX unit cooling solution from the rest of the video card, and I'm going to remove that base plate later on. But for now, let's focus on this very cool looking shroud. And I must admit, this is one of the most beautiful video cards I have ever seen. It looks mature. It does not look like it is aimed for a teenager or sort of the user that likes a lot of bright colors and bright LEDs. It is definitely the best looking shroud I've ever seen. I like it even better than the GTX Titan design, which is more industrial looking. This one is sort of a matte black finish there, and then just a light gold trim on the sides. These are metallic, of course, shiny, and the combination of the dark nickel coating on the aluminum heat pipes and the aluminum fin arrays and the copper heat pipes, it's quite striking. And it actually reminds me of for those who are into Top Gear, and probably I've seen the Peugeot Onyx. It has that one's more has a copper trim. This is more golden color, and believe me when I say that the pictures do not do this video card justice. And of course, enough gushing about the looks of it. In terms of functionality, it is also quite impressive. Let's start with the fans here. These are, of course, very quiet fans, and they're a lot different compared to the old EVGA fans that we've seen in their double shot cooling designs. And this one is obviously a lot more lightweight compared to those fans. Those seem to be thicker, and these ones are designed to be a lot quieter too. And if you look closely, that there isn't much space between the axle there and the base unit, so there's no way dust can enter that, at least minimum amount of dust, compared to regular fans. So that means that it obviously lasts a lot longer. And of course, dust in those places can hamper the performance. And all the wires are also, you don't see any colored wires here. They really focus on the looks of this card. And the dark nickel really works. If you notice, the aluminum fin arrays are much denser compared to other heatsinks. And let's see the heat pipes they have here. I see 4 thicker 8mm heat pipes that are right across the middle there, and 1 6mm heat pipe that rounds out the back. And they've actually separated 2 heat pipes there, rather 2 fin arrays for each of the fans, so it's kind of minimizes the turbulence. And of course that adds into the noise, so that is a very conscious decision on their part. You can see through the more of the features there. I just can't stop looking at this cooler. It's very sexy. And let me just show you the base plate here. I removed. I don't need to remove the base plate to see that this is indeed a reference GTX 770 PCB that they used, EVGA. You can see the voltage control right in the middle there, and you can see a 6-phase design. Some have opted for an upgraded 8-phase design, with some are even 10-phase design. But this one, what I'm going to do now is, of course, just remove it, just to show you the memory chips underneath that. Right after removing over a dozen screws here, it's time to remove the base plate there. Just see how thick that is. Obviously there's no flex to it because it's meant to provide durability and stability to prevent the PCB itself from bowing over time. Of course, you've seen those video cards. I've seen my older videos where I have a very heavy triple slot video card that was like bowing down sometime. Also, if you notice that this PCB, I don't know if, I think I mentioned it already, but it is very thick, obviously thick too. So even without that board, I doubt this would bow anytime soon. But obviously they wanted to make sure that you get optimal safety with this, and by minimizing that from ever happening. And I feel, let's see, I believe they are Samsung memory as well. Of course, they are rated for 7010 megahertz, and the good thing about that is that, of course, that is the fastest compared to the 6 Gbps from the previous GTX 680. 7010 megahertz essentially it gives you a lot of freedom, especially for your overclocking memory. And as I mentioned, has the GK104 core right in the middle there. I cleaned it up for you so you can read it. See there, and has, of course, 2 gigabytes of memory. There's a 4 gigabyte version as well, and that's pretty much it for this overview of the EVGA GeForce GTX 770 Superclocked ACX version. I'm not sure how they, I think they officially call it EVGA GTX 770 SC Superclocked with EVGA ACX cooler video card. It's quite a mouthful, but it's definitely an impressive video card. So here it will retail for $419, which is $20 more than the $399 MSRP reference GTX 770. So what you now is, of course, take a look at the benchmarks, how well this video card performed, and then come back to my conclusion.
Alright, there you have it. As you can see, the performance is quite impressive. It beats out the GTX 680, GTX 670, and the HD 7970 for a fraction of their price. Well, not so much a fraction, but it's still a considerably low price. So I expect a lot of people who have ordered the GTX 670 or GTX 680 in the last few days will probably be recalling those orders. So it will be interesting how the landscape shakes out and how the prices will drop further from here. And of course, the EVGA GTX 770 is available for $20 more than the reference $399 MSRP. So it's going to be $420, $419. And as I mentioned, I think I mentioned multiple times already, it is the single best looking video card I've ever seen. I like it better than the GTX Titan design. That one looked cold and too metallic. This one is sort of has a little more personality here, and surprisingly with the testing, it also is quite effective in cooling. As you can see, even with overclock, it handled the GPU boost perfectly under overclock conditions. It didn't even reach the default 79-degree GPU target temperature. It was like at most 73 or 76, but when it reached 76, the fan would just ramp up, and also the fan, although they were audible, I love the sound property that they emit. They actually are not high pitched at all because they've eliminated the turbulence with the way the fins are arranged and all the fans are separated in between. That's what happens when air kind of gets trapped when the fans are blowing, especially when it's blowing too fast. You hear some whistling or some high pitched whine or noise coming out from the fans. So that is good that EVGA has avoided that. And in terms of course, performance. You've seen a 770 numbers, and it's quite impressive. And for the price tag right now, I cannot recommend this video card any further. This is pretty much an editor's choice video card all around. It's just such a winner. I mean, when was the last time you've seen a manufacturer sort of offer a new generation of video card, although it's actually based on the GK 104. So essentially a rebranded video card, but a rebranded video card that outperforms the last generation's high-end at a fraction of the cost, $20 less. So this is definitely worth noting also, especially with the EVGA version here that has a very, very cool and effective cooling solution. You just got an all-around winner once again, and most people will probably be going out and getting two of these in SLI and try to outperform the GTX Titan, which obviously you can essentially do. And I don't know anyone who wouldn't try it. You can also quad crossfire exit. So I mean, you can triple SLI with these. 3 of these would be what? $4, $8, $12, $1,200, $1,300. So about $300 more than a Titan. That gives you 1.5 Titans, and triple SLI of these will definitely outperform a Titan, well, at least in gaming. Although, of course, the 2 GB version is, some people will be concerned with that, but thankfully there will be a 4 GB version. So I'm not sure yet what the pricing is for the 4 GB version that EVGA has, but definitely once they come out with a 4 GB that has the same cooler here, I expect this cooler to show up more often. I really love it. I wish EVGA would apply it to more of their products from now on, and definitely an Editor's Choice Award. Once again, this is Ron from High Tech Legion. You can click on the link below for my full review, and also subscribe for YouTube channel for daily updates. More updates in the next 2 days. Computex ramping up. We're not there, but we have plenty of announcements. We have plenty of reviews coming up that are, of course, being announced at Computex at the same time. And also, like us at Facebook, facebook.com/HLReviews, tweet at us, twitter.com/HighTechLegion. And once again, this is Ron, signing out.